Yudhishthira thanked Sri Krishna for all his efforts and said, "You are skilled both in matters of peace and war. Now, help guide us through the inevitable battle that has been forced upon us." At that moment, a messenger from Duryodhana, named Aluka, arrived with a message. He confirmed that the Kauravas were fully committed to war. The battlefield had been set at Kurukshetra, and the Pandavas were invited to prepare for battle, which would begin on the next Amavasya, the new moon day, marking the start of the autumn season. The Pandavas and their allies then gathered to plan for the upcoming war. Yudhishthira spoke, "Now that we know war is unavoidable, our first task is to appoint generals and a commander-in-chief. We have 7 divisions. I suggest we appoint Virata, Drupada, Dhrishtadyumna, Shikhandi, Satyaki, Chekatana, and Bhima to lead these divisions as generals." His proposal was accepted without objection. Yudhishthira continued, "Next, we must choose the generalissimo, the commander-in-chief who will oversee the entire war effort. This person should be energetic, bold, and dynamic. Seniority isn't the priority here, as the commander-in-chief, in my view, should be the first among equals." Yudhishthira continued, "The leader we choose should not be a harsh dictator. I want everyone's honest opinions. According to our tradition, let's start with the youngest. If the elders speak first, the younger ones might hold back their thoughts out of respect. I want everyone to share their views freely, but we must all follow the final decision carefully." With that, he asked Sahadeva to speak first. Sahadeva stood and said, "When we were in great trouble, we found refuge under King Virata. He has been our unofficial leader and host throughout this time. He is a seasoned warrior who has supported us through good times and bad. I suggest we make him the commander-in-chief." Next, Nakula shared his thoughts. "Drupada has always been an enemy of the Kauravas. He's the most senior general we have. In age, wisdom, birth, and bravery, he is deserving of this position. He has been waiting for the right moment to take revenge on Bhisma and Drona, who are the greatest warriors on the opposing side." Then it was Arjuna's turn. He said, "This is a tough job, and younger shoulders should carry that burden. Military science has evolved greatly in recent years, and we need someone with the latest knowledge. Most of our soldiers are young, and we don't want a visible generation gap between the leader and the troops. I believe Dhrishtadyumna, who is young, energetic, and connected with the younger generation, would be the right choice." Bhima was then asked to speak. He said, "I support Shikhandi. Our spies say that Bhisma will be appointed as the commander of the Kaurava forces. We need someone to match him. It's said by sages that Shikhandi is destined to defeat Bhisma. No one else can take him down." Finally, Yudhishthira asked Sri Krishna for his opinion. Sri Krishna responded, "All 7 of these generals are great warriors, each capable of leading an even larger army." Sri Krishna's opinion was treated as a final decision by the Pandavas, and the assembly erupted into cheers. Dhrishtadyumna was a warrior who had already proven his worth. He played a key role in Draupadi's Swayamvara and was deeply devoted to his sister. During the Pandavas' exile, he watched over her sons and was eager to avenge the insult Draupadi had suffered at the hands of the Kauravas. He also had a personal mission, to kill Dronacharya, who had publicly humiliated his father. Given these motivations, Dhrishtadyumna was expected to fight with great passion and purpose. Dhrishtadyumna was appointed as the supreme commander of the Pandava forces with much fanfare. Trumpets blared, bugles and conches sounded, and the war drum echoed through the air. The loud trumpeting of elephants and the battle cries of the warriors filled the atmosphere as the Pandava army set off for Kurukshetra. Vedic hymns were chanted, and the Brahmins, led by Damawa, offered their blessings. The army marched with such force that it raised a cloud of dust, covering the sky and earth. The sky was filled with the sight of white umbrellas, personal banners of the warriors, and the flags of different regiments. Yudhishthira rode atop a majestic elephant, with a cavalry of divine horses, gifted by Chitraratha, leading the way. Bhima followed, walking behind the elephant and leading the infantry. He was adorned with gleaming jewelry and carried his massive mace across his shoulders. Arjuna rode in his chariot, which was pulled by white horses and driven by Sri Krishna. The banner featuring Hanuman fluttered proudly above him. Arjuna resembled a dark storm cloud, his radiant crown flashing like lightning. His Gandiva bow was like a rainbow, and the sound of it being drawn was as powerful as thunder. The twins, Nakula and Sahadeva, marched at the front, leading the soldiers with their energy and excitement. Prativindya, Srutasoma, and others followed closely, contributing to the spirit of the advancing Pandava army. Srutakirti, Satanika, Srutasena, and Abhimanyu rode forward in their chariots, ready for battle. Drupada commanded the mighty elephant troops, while Virata, along with his brothers and sons, led his warriors. Satyaki moved ahead with the Yadava forces, and Chekatana marched at the front of his army. Sikandi sat firmly in his chariot, followed by the brave soldiers of Panchala. Sahadeva, the king of Magadha, advanced in his chariot, surrounded by an ocean of soldiers. Dhrishtadyumna moved forward on foot, leading his troops with determination. Gathathakesha, towering among his fierce Rakshasa warriors, strode quickly, his trident raised high against the sky. The king of Pandya, along with the 5 princes of Kakaya, Saibya, and other kings, marched with their armies, ready for the fight. At the front of the entire army was Dhrishtadyumna, riding in a magnificent golden chariot, embodying courage and leadership. Sri Krishna returned to Upaplavya and informed the Pandavas about the failure of his peace negotiations with the Kauravas. He said, "My visit to Hastinapura wasn't wasted. I got a clear understanding of their war preparations and noticed the tension within the Kaurava court. I spoke with all the key figures and helped sway public opinion in our favor. Most importantly, we now have a clear conscience, knowing we tried for peace. I also met with Kunti and Vidura. Kunti urged you to prove your strength and gave her blessings for your victory.